Hey, what's up, Nomad Nation? You've got Godfather. I am one third of your Nomad Gamers. It's Tuesday. We're starting off another week. And I tell you what, this week has started off with a bang. I've got so much lined up for Talking Tuesday tonight that I didn't have enough time to read through it all before I came on air. So, with that being said, let's get into our socials real quick. Let's get through all the mandatory stuff, and that way we can get to talking. And, well, I'll get to that when I get there. So if you're watching me on Twitch, thank you very much. You found Godfather09. Hit that follow button. I need all the follows I can get over there. If you are watching me on YouTube, thank you very much. You found the home of the Nomad Gamers. We're on every Saturday around noon Central Time. My other two Knucklehead co hosts, we are coming at you either live or recorded. And yeah, you gotta tune in. It's a whole different atmosphere when the other two are with me. If you're watching me over on Facebook, you have found the home of Godfather. Somewhere right down here, you're gonna see a follow button. Click on it. Share my content. For those of you who are a follower, thank you for the love and support. Thank you for the continued support. It means a lot. Now, for my fans over on Kick, we're starting to come up. I think I got like 5 whole followers. It's a little slow, but we're getting there. Thank you very much over there as well. Hit the follow button and then or the subscribe button, and that way every time that I'm gaming or I'm doing one of these two shows, you're being notified. Finally, well, not finally. I got one more after this. TikTok. Have you seen my TikTok lately? I'm actually uploading content to it. Uh, Sweet Kitty Pie coached me a little bit. I probably didn't do it right, and that's okay. Um, but we're gonna trudge our own path. I'm sure we're gonna do great things there. I think I'm up to 8 followers. You got to post before you get followers. I know this, and that's why I'm really not too concerned with it. Finally, now I can say finally, over here on Discord, you can find me on the Nomad Gamers channel down under vids and clips in general chat. As of right now, if you are watching me live, which nobody's really watching, and that's okay, it's myself and Zanar Creststrider on Discord. So come on over, subscribe to the page, do whatever you got to do with it, and join the community. We'd love to have you. Now let's get into all this news that I've got. Uh, it's almost like the hand of God came down and started spewing out great information about the gaming industry. We're going to visit Rockstar Games first. We're going to get the updates on RDR and GTA because for whatever reason, they've started doing it on like a goddamn Tuesday now. So we'll do that. And that way it gives everybody enough time to go and enjoy both of those games. So 10 hours ago from Rockstar, this is for RDO, Red Dead Online, and homage to the Mountain Man from Redditor. Oh, here we go. Familiar Tangelo underscore 328 is the latest community inspired outfit in Red Dead Online. Assemble this look for free by claiming the pieces from the Wheeler, Rawson, and Company catalog, and they give you a hyperlink. It looks like Davy Crockett. There's nothing very special about this. I mean, here, I'll even show you guys. Let me get back to the right one. You see what I mean with you got the coonskin hat, you got the bear, you got the rifle, you got the 6 piece, you got the I think that's a knife. It might be a hatchet. Yeah, I mean this is Daniel Boone 2.0. So it's cool. I mean, hey, I'd be really excited if I was featured on Rockstar Games' Facebook page. That would tickle me to death. That was the only thing that wow. Okay. Wow. That's the only thing that they reported on, which is good for us because that means that I can get to the gaming news that I've been really wanting to get to. So let's go over there right now. So I'm over on Game Developer. If you go to Google and you just Google gaming industry news, this one shows up and there's one right below it. When I'm done with this, because I don't want to lose it, then I'll tell you about that one over there. However, this one, the title on it says, "Are unreasonable investor expectations the cause of poor video game market conditions?" I think we can all agree that's a yes. Developers say investors, specifically investors with mismanaged expectations, are to blame for the major industry downturn since 2022. If you ask me, they've been going downhill before that, but I will take this little bit of snippet of 2022 and run with it because they're not wrong. If you, it is about a 5-minute read. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. However, it says at a glance, and this is the only part I'm really going to read word for word. New data, Game Developer Collective data shows many developers think investors are responsible for the game industry downturn. But the same group of developers are also reporting some progress in raising more funds than in 2024. So, in one hand, they're saying that these investors are the reason why these games are going downhill. And then in the other side of their mouth or the other breath, however you want to put that, they are saying they have raised more money in 24 or in 25 than they did in 24. And they're calling it a brutal downturn in the video game industry with declining revenue. Where else was this at? 64% of respondents stated unreasonable investor expectations was the number one cause of the downturn. Let that sink in for a minute because we're going to come back to that. I got to turn my chat over to where I can see everybody's. 60% of respondents ranked mismanagement as a close second. The next highest variable was too high of development costs, according to 43% of the survey trackers. So if you were to go back and go to the Nomad Gamers, either our Facebook or our YouTube, myself, Chungus, Fireball, and Zanar Crestrider, we have all been reporting on this now for almost 7 full months. And we have been going back and forth on why the gaming industry has been taking a downturn. While the games are stepping up with the graphics, they're stepping up with how real they look, we're not getting enough. There's got to be a middle ground there to where the investors' expectations are being met, but don't fool yourself. In order for the expectations of the investor to be met, you first must meet the expectations of the gamers. Because let's not fool ourselves. An investor who's given them money to put out a product will get zero in return if the gamers don't like the game. That is the bottom line up front, point blank and simple. Crestrider, if you want to chime in, please do. Because
It'd be the same thing that I just popped into chat is all they've done is cater to investors and their ever-present permanent growth, permanent profit mentality.
Yes.
Video game prices continue to soar while the quality of the product we're being given, I'm not talking the graphics. The graphics are gorgeous.
Yeah.
They do that easily now. It's the quality of the game itself continues to decline. The games get shorter. The effort put into them is minimal. They're just cranking out the same thing over and over and over and expecting you to pay full price for it. While at the same time, turning around and catering to these investors and acting like we should be grateful for the opportunity to buy their games.
Exactly. And I've been doing a lot of thought about this one topic multiple times over 7 months. Every time that the Nomad Gamers bring this up, one, I get crushed, and rightfully so. Looking back on those videos, some of my stances were wrong. Now, Fireball and Chungus are going to fall out of their chairs when they hear that, but it was. However, I have been redeemed by this one article because this article is saying exactly what I've been saying. They're taking too goddamn long. Everyone is saying that the cost is soaring. Well, this right here says that mismanagement is second. High cost is third. And if you were to break down my comment, and Crust Rider can chime in when he wants. I'm gonna let him free fire. However, if you look at my statement of it taking too long, that's mismanagement. That's mismanagement at its core. Every company answers to two entities at any given time: the investors and the customers. When you lose sight of either one of those two, look at any company around the world. When they lose focus on those two top priorities, they go down. Let's see here. What else was said? It's certainly a spicy statistic. It's very spicy. But is it a fair sentiment? Some studio founders and investors who may be a bit biased here disagree. Oh, I'm going to love to read this part. I'm not sure that's fair, said Midsummer founder and CEO Jake Solomon. The venture capital model is built upon significant return on the VC investment. I don't quite know what VC is, but maybe it's video card. I don't know. I really don't. When it comes to these abbreviations for $20 words, I don't always get them right. Oh, it's an investment. When a VC funds our studio, they don't have any expectation of sharing in revenue. Crap. That's a lie. We'll come back to that. They don't set milestones. Another lie. They don't dictate day to day operations. I can see that part. I can see how they don't do that. And they even pay the entirety of the agreed upon funding up front. I can see that part too.
You know what he's doing is he's sitting there and saying, "Oh, they don't make any, they don't dictate anything." But what it is if you don't do what they're aiming for when they provide that funding, they provide funding for something, say a specific project. That's their type of deal. They're a first person shooter, so they provide money for your first person shooter game. If you don't build a first person shooter, they're gonna pull their fund. You're not going to have any money anymore. So they may not be sitting there and writing out this is what you need to do, but money talks.
And bullshit walks. That's the saying. Money talks, bullshit walks. Well, I'm here to tell everybody, and I'm sure Crust Rider will agree with me on this, that the investors do have expectations. At the end of the day, the investor is investing their money wanting to make money.
Yeah, they're
That's
not
an
giving money out of the
expectation.
goodness of their heart.
No, you don't give out money for free. Okay? That's the first bullshit line that I read in this. And damn, I wish I had Chungus and Fireball with me. And by the way, I hope Fireball's having a blast in New York right now. That's where he's vacationing at. The state of New York. He's not in the city. They don't set milestones. Yes, they do. They most certainly do. The only true thing that I read in this one little passage was they don't dictate day-to-day operations, and they pay the entirety of the agreed upon funding up front. I do believe both of those.
Again, they may not sit there and go, "You have to put your game out by this date." But what happens if they hit that quarterly investor call and they don't have the ability to sit there and say, "We made all this profit"?
Exactly. What about these games that take a decade to make? You're telling me those investors? Let's give an example here, okay? And Crest Rider, please correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. We'll use the Fallout franchise as an example, okay? Only because I don't play Elder Scrolls at all, so I don't want to use that because I'm not familiar with it. I read online, and you can go out there and look it up yourself. Updates for Fallout 5, okay? They have a one-page, and this is the only thing they've released, a one-page working document for Fallout 5. Now, I am not naive, and neither are you. When they have a one-page working document, they are putting more work into said game. By this article here, they're going to need investment to get this game off the ground. I got to be careful with my words here. In one thought, it's like these investors are investing over a period of a decade and they are expecting a profit back. That is unrealistic to even think of. Okay? So my next thought, which is more rational than the first, is that one-page document, they have not touched Fallout 5 since that initial page.
I think they probably haven't, because they did the same thing to Elder Scrolls 6. They don't even. I mean, in Fallout's defense, they have not announced that they are in development of the next Fallout.
No,
they did announce they were working on the next Elder Scrolls, and then backed off and went, "Oh, but we're doing Starfield first."
And we still don't have any word on the next.
They haven't said hardly a damn thing on Elder Scrolls since, and it's been 6 years since they announced it.
Oh, but you got Oblivion.
Well, got to make money somehow.
Exactly. Recycle the game. You know what? Let's make some money.
I have a significant amount of time in Oblivion Remastered already.
Oh, I bet you do. I knew you did. Okay, so the next part on this game developer article, and they've got quite a few articles I want to touch on, so I'm going to hurry up with this one. Causes of poor market conditions. Most developers blame poor market conditions in the games industry on internal factors with unreasonable investor expectations and mismanagement. We know this. That's a fact. Consider the leading factors, followed by development costs. 64% for unreasonable investor. I found the actual graph. Mismanagement, 60%. It was only 4% back from unreasonable expectations. At 43%, development cost too high. 26%, too much competition from other games. That's bullshit. Let me stop. I don't want to lose this train of thought. When I see something like that coming out of the industry, that is my first initial reaction. Because think about it. How many games are going to live action now online? Fallout 76, Grand Theft Auto, Final Fantasy, Star Trek. I know I'm missing more out there. I know I am. So how can you say too much competition from other games? Here's the competition is release dates. It's not competition from another game. Because I'm going to tell you what right now. If I fall in love with a game, flip it over to Grand Theft Auto. I've already said it. When Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, my ass is going to be planted in this seat for a month. And I'm going to have blinders on, and I am not going to care what other game comes out in that month. When Fallout 76 came out, and Crust Rider can affirm this, I played Fallout 76 for hours every day.
We both did.
Yeah, I was about to say, me and Crust Rider would meet up. Me, Crust Rider, Maggie, Sweet Kitty Pie, and Gonzo. We would meet up and we just go out and do whatever we had to do out in the wasteland. When Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, I did the same thing, but just a little bit longer on that. When Red Dead came out, I did the same thing. It isn't competition between games. That competition's over. If you have a good story, you have good graphics, and you fill the niche of the gamer who you want to play that game, they're going to buy your game. Now, just understand something that with everything else in life, in this world, our attention spans are short. There is a fine line that you have to walk as a developer between busting your ass 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, because everyone deserves a day off. Us gamers have to understand that when they put a DLC out, we can't be screaming for another one within 6 months of that one. We have to understand all of everything that's in the back half of it to bring that DLC to life. Thinking of a new storyline, or 2, or 3, in Fallout's case. 1, if you're talking like Grand Theft Auto. Then you have to go in and write code if you're opening up another building, if you're opening up another map, if you're opening up an expansion of the map. However, you can get that done in 6 months. You can. Maybe even 8 months. Or a year. Gamers would stick around for a year.
No,
But
sometimes it's okay to also accept that there's going to be a lull in your player base until you put out new content, and then people are going to come back, experience that content, and then go on to another thing. Like they always have.
I would love to see the player numbers, the internal player numbers for Fallout 76 in between the DLCs. I'd love to see that. The same with Grand Theft Auto 5 between like gun running and the facility. Because there is a natural lull that you get where you, down at the bottom, that's your loyal players who are going to play regardless of what's out there. They are going to be grinding those dailies. They are going to be running the businesses every day. They're going to be making that world theirs. That's where this FiveM world comes from in Grand Theft Auto. They have taken Los Santos, detached it away from what Rockstar has, and they have made their own community. But it's still Rockstar's product, and it's thriving. Let's move on to the next one and see what I say. Lack of innovation at 25%. That is 1% under too much competition. I agree with that. However, this doesn't just stay with the video game industry. This is also in the movie industry too. The innovation in both of those have been lacking for at least 5 years, in my opinion. I can't remember the last game with a knockout storyline since 2020. I can't. Uh, Too much competition from other forms of entertainment at 19%. Again, you are not, if you're looking at new gamers, if you're looking at new money coming in, okay, I can see this part. However, I'm a huge gamer. Crust Rider is a huge gamer. Sweet Kitty Pie is a huge gamer. Chungus is. Fireball is. I could name off 5 or 6 that are not a part of this, of the Nomad Gamers, the co-hosts and behind the scenes, that are hardcore gamers, but we still have a social life. We still go out to other entertainment. When you want to do something, you are going to find time to do it. That's just plain and simple. Let's see. Marketing user acquisition cost too high. It's too high because, okay. Marketing, yes, at certain times. You can't bring a game out during the damn Super Bowl. That's going to be a couple million just for 30 seconds. If you bring it out, I don't know, September, marketing ain't going to be that goddamn high. At least not for these AAA companies. Now, maybe for your AA and your single A and your indies, I can see this as being a constraint. I really can. But for your AAA game developers, I can't see that as being a constraint. Can you, Crust Rider? I might have lost him.
Sorry, I was reading something. I didn't hear what you had said.
Okay, so it said marketing and user acquisition costs too high. And I got to pause for a second because what's right below it is another one that I think ties into this. Lack of consumer demand. There is no lack of consumer demand. But you have to be smart. These companies have got to be smart. They're being stupid right now. I know I'm preaching to you guys out there, but I'm very passionate about this. Rockstar cannot put out a game when Bethesda's putting out a game, and vice versa, because we all know who's going to win that battle. Hands down, every single day, we know who's going to win. So does Bethesda.
Companies move their release dates all the time based off of another game coming out.
Exactly. But the consumer demand is there. Look at Grand Theft Auto 6. The demand is through the goddamn roof. I can't even scroll through Facebook on my Godfather page without seeing 50 different things about Grand Theft Auto 6. I just can't do it.
To be fair, that's your curated page.
Yes, it is. And on top of that, the misinformation is through the roof. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know we don't know what the map is because Rockstar hasn't told us.
And people don't care because all they care is about the clicks, the views, the ad revenue.
Absolutely.
So they'll report on anything they can think of just to get somebody to come look at it, if only to get them to pop into the chat bar and go, "Oh, you're wrong."
Exactly.
Because every little bit of interaction now drives the algorithm. Oh, somebody said something. This must be something that's more important. Let's throw it out to these other three guys and see if some of them say something.
And well, they can throw it out to me all day long. I don't report on it, and I don't comment on it. I think some of it's kind of cool. There's a few of the memes out there that I will share because they are true, but I don't report and I don't comment. And then 18% being other, which means you have a pissed off worker at one of these companies and they just don't want to say what their big issue is. Somewhere above saying, well, somewhere above the article said, uh, it was blaming the investors and all the reasons that I just listed why they're having layoffs, why they're closing studios, why they're closing locations. It's an oxymoron if I've never heard one before in my life. You have a downturn. That is, yes, that is 110% an absolute fact. That's a fact. You can solve 90% of this graph by putting out more games. How many of these people are without a job? How many of these studios have been shuttered? I'm specifically, and I know I beat up on these companies all the time, but these are the two that I am the most familiar with. Rockstar and Bethesda. They're huge. Bethesda, not so much. They belong to Microsoft. But you got all these layoffs. You got these studios closing. Why couldn't you send one guy that is familiar with the Grand Theft Auto 5 series or Grand Theft Auto 5 game? Send him, and this is all hypothetical. This is not fact. This is it's a what if scenario. Send him to Ireland where Ubisoft closed down one of their studios. You buy that studio. You employ those employees. They'll be happy to have a goddamn job. You hire them in and you train them with this lead guy from the Grand Theft Auto 5 game, and they start putting out the goddamn content, and that way your other team can start working on Grand Theft Auto 6. And then you let that team go for, I don't know, I'm going to go 3 years. So that would be 6 years altogether. You shut down 5, focus on 6. And when you start focusing on 6, that's when you transfer 6 to that Ireland office. And I say office because that's just the way I think. You let them bring out the DLCs. You let them upkeep the game. And then that group of, let's say, I'm going to pick another location, top of my head, not factual, Seattle. The crew from Seattle then, in turn, starts working on Red Dead Redemption 3. Or, depending on how the investors want shit to go down, Grand Theft Auto 7.
The downside with GTA 5 specifically, as an example, is when they put out Grand Theft Auto Online, it turned into a money printing machine.
Yep.
Which delayed any and all efforts into the next iteration of the game, because why would you make something new when the current one is just printing money faster than you can spend it?
Exactly.
And then it slowly morphed over time into this greed microtransaction hell where you can hardly earn anything in that game anymore because it is so geared towards selling shark cards. Yeah. That if you want to earn something in the game, it's going to take you 40 hours of legitimate play to earn something that you could go to work for 8 hours, take a portion of that daily's wage and then turn around and buy the shark card and get the thing.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And this is why some of those, and this is my opinion. This is God's father only. These are excuses from the gaming industry on why they can't put out games faster. It's an excuse. Grand Theft Auto 5. Grand Theft Auto 5 prints out so much goddamn money that, just like Crush Rider said, they don't know what to do with it all. But Rockstar has not done this, so this is another what if. But then they turn around and they lay people off. Or they say, we don't have enough people. You have a cash cow. The damn thing is not dying anytime soon. For that cash cow to die, it's going to have to be at the hands of Rockstar.
I mean, kind of like Microsoft talking in one hand about how great they're doing, and in the other hand, they're laying off and shuttering.
That's another
how
one.
Many employees in studios and games?
Yeah. Every major game out there right now is a cash cow. Name me one game that does not have an in-game store with real money to where you can sidestep having to grind missions out or grind stuff out to get it and get it right away.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Is that new within the last 5 years? I don't know much about Baldur's Gate. And they don't have an online store.
Larian Studios put it out early access 2021, 22, somewhere in there. It came out in full release last year.
Well, they're in the minority then. They're definitely in the minority. And I will say this now, with God and everybody listening to me, my hat is off to them. I think that's awesome.
Well, everybody sat there and said, no, people don't want single player games. They want these live service, games as a service games. And Larian came out and went, you sure about that? And they dropped their game, and it sold extremely well. It is a wonderful game. I have it. I've played it.
Can you do me a favor there, Crush Rider?
Yo.
Can you, because I have mine on Gaming Industry News, and I don't really want to lose this. Can you look up and see if the way Rockstar does RDR and Grand Theft Auto, if that is trademarked by Rockstar?
What do you mean?
So, I like the way that Rockstar has done their games. I really do. Because you have that single-player game on one side of the house. On the other side of the house, you've got the online portion. So if I want to go play single player and just immerse myself in the storyline of a game, let's say Fallout, okay? I could go and play the story mode, which, in all, cut the bullshit, it's a single player game at that point. And I immerse myself in it. And then I turn around and go, you know what? I'm getting kind of bored with this. I'm going to jump over and I'm going to play the online version.
No, that's not trademarked. Other games have had that over the years.
See, I do not get. Go ahead.
They may not have the exact same way that GTA and Red Dead have done it in the latest installments, where you have one set of characters that is your single player character, and then you have another character that's your multiplayer character too. Some have done that. There was Ghost of Tsushima has a multiplayer version of the game.
Yeah.
Your character that you use in that one is a separate character than what you play in the main storyline.
And you see, that would be awesome, because then you're giving the gamer what they want. Because I love Fallout. You love Fallout. There is millions out there that are vault dwellers. But then you cut that by half. Okay? Cut it by half. There's half out there that don't want to play 76 because 76 is an all online game. To some, it betrayed the Fallout franchise, I guess you'd want to say. Am I one of those? No. I know you're not one of them. However, there are times when I would just love, and that's why Fallout 4 is so popular still, is because it's a single player game and you can go in and just immerse yourself in that world. The same with Grand Theft Auto. You can immerse yourself into the single player or you can go play the online mode. I don't get why Bethesda doesn't do it. I don't get why more games don't follow that lead because it's a winning combination. It really is.
Game companies are convinced that they know
Yeah,
what
well,
players want more than the players do. I have heard it so many times from companies saying players don't know what they want. We know what they want, and they want this. Meanwhile, you have so many players sitting there going, we don't want that. The problem is the only way to get a company to listen
it's not about it. Yeah,
it's to vote with your wallet.
And Americans are actually, let's go even bigger than that. The world will not do that. They just won't.
Gamers as a whole are terrible at this.
I'll give you an
Case in
example.
point is Call of Duty.
Yeah, I was going to bring
Players
that one up.
sit there and bitch, piss, and moan about what they've done about the Call of Duty, but they still sit there and buy it. You want to make them change up the formula of Call of Duty, skip one or two of them.
Yeah.
Don't buy the next one. Stay playing the one that you liked. They'll go back to that formula real quick when they realize that's what's selling.
Yep. So I just found something else on Game Developer. And I do report off a Game Developer because I feel like this is factual information that I can report. If my viewership goes down because I'm reporting the truth and facts, that's okay with me. I'm not going to report bullshit. I'm not going to report rumors. I'm going to report this cold, hard facts. And if they don't like it, well, there's 100 other people out there that report bullshit. Go listen to them. Report Candy Crush maker King is allegedly replacing laid off employees. Guess with what? AI tools. Now, about a week ago, I read a article on.
Okay, so this is not just King. This is Microsoft.
I know. I was about to bring that up. And that's why I'm trying to remember the article that I read.
I just saw it earlier myself.
Yeah. Right now, that doesn't matter. But what does matter is the meat and potatoes of that article was that the union that represents game developers, the actors and the voice actors and the graphics people, they have a union for all of that. It's the same one as the stage actors. I don't want to murder the name of it. I really don't. I am sure if you go and if you were to Google the Screen Actors Guild and find that union, a part of that union represents the gaming industry. And a part of their contract that they just won said that companies wouldn't do this. Now, I'm not gonna bullshit anybody out there and say that I don't use AI, because I do. I use AI for complex things that I could do. It's a pain in the ass, so I don't do it, and I give it to it, and if it looks right, I run with it. It's mainly schedules.
I did find what the article that we were talking about.
Okay.
So what it was an Xbox graphics team development lead. What he made a LinkedIn post about hiring for Xbox graphics using an AI generated image with a ton of mistakes. Like the display is on the back of the computer.
Yeah.
So it's clearly done by AI. And they're all of the responses are really cool, seeing you lay off hundreds of my coworkers and friends and then turn around and shart this mess out into the world. And that was somebody who was one of the people. He's one of the ones that got cut and laughing at them for their idiocy.
The very first sentence in this article that I'm reading, it says, and hold on to your ass. Microsoft-owned developer King, best known for the Candy Crush series, is reportedly replacing a number of employees with AI tools created internally.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
I don't either. And here's the thing, okay? So Candy Crush, nothing against it. I played it. It's a good. If you go back about a year and watch, I don't remember if it was Talking Tuesday or Thirsty Thursday. I don't remember which one, but I called it a toilet game. And let me explain what a toilet game is. A toilet game is a game that you play when you are sitting down and relieving yourself. That is I have a R-rated version of it, but the G-rated for this program is the toilet games. Candy Crush is one of them.
It's quite simple. Game you play while you're on the crapper.
Exactly. So for this one here, I can see why AI would be tempting. I can. I'm still not on board with it.
No, because it's just the developers are like, we're going to get all of this stuff done, and we're not going to have to pay people because the AI is going to generate it. But what they fail to realize is that AI generated code off at this point in time usually contains so many mistakes that it takes a human twice as long to go through and fix it as it does for them to have written it than in the first place.
Yes, and then on top of that, the other point I was going to make about this, about Microsoft specifically, I'm going to pick on Microsoft for a minute. How many companies did Microsoft just acquire? I don't know, in the last 3 years?
I mean, they got a whole slew of them in the Activision Blizzard deal, because you've got Activision, Blizzard, King. All of that has been merged into one company over the last 15 years.
They got Bethesda.
Whatever other subsidiaries they had, they've got Bethesda. They've got a whole slew of other little game development studios that for the most part, they were just letting them go and do their thing. And then all of a sudden, in the last couple of years, they've been shutting them down left, right, and center.
So my question, again, and this is what pisses me off about this, why couldn't you reassign them?
They're shutting down stuff that is anticipated by players. They killed Perfect Dark.
Yeah. Why not reassign your assets to where you need them? Okay, I get it. You can make Candy Crush work better with AI. Got it. For just 1 second, let's set aside our differences with companies using AI. I got it. You can make it work better. Sweet. Go for it. Instead of laying off these individuals and turning their worlds and their lives upside down, why don't you just reassign them to another project? Reassign them to Bethesda. Reassign them to Blizzard. Lord knows Blizzard has a plethora of work for them. All these video games, it would not take long for them to adapt to the new game that they're working on. It wouldn't. That'd be like what I do in real life, and I'm not going to say it over the air. But if you were to take me and move me over within the same, I call umbrellas, same job umbrella, you move me from here to here. It might take me a month, but I'm going to adapt to the new job, and I'm going to be good at it. And I can almost guarantee you all these employees would be the same way. This is the part of the industry that is pissing me off. Between the last article that I reported on and this article, it irritates the shit out of me. And I know I'm using some strong language here, but we're talking about human beings who are being absolutely ruined for AI. We're talking about companies who are listening to an investor at the expense of their employees, at the expense of their customers. I would even be happy to dial back the graphics just a little bit or hold them where they're at to pump out some more quality story games. I really would.
Honestly, if you spend more time working on your story than your graphics, you would have a game out faster. I mean, look at the old Final Fantasies. You had a 100-hour game that would come out in a couple of years. The graphics they'd be nice. They wouldn't be breathtaking, but they were good for the time.
I was going to bring up
you had an amazing story.
Yeah. I was going to bring up Nintendo. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm going to shit on Nintendo a lot, but probably be Thirsty Thursday. I'm running out of time on Talking Tuesday. But look at Nintendo. They've got great storylines. The stories don't vary too much. The fucking princess gets kidnapped. Mario, Luigi, and company, they go running after Bowser. They reclaim the princess. All's right in the world. But something is to be said about the story and what they're doing, because they have lasted for almost 50 years now.
See, but even
think about that. Mario is almost 50 years old. And the reason why Nintendo is in the predicament that it's in now is because it's trying to run with the big boys and it's forgetting where it came from.
A lot of the issue with Nintendo has been because of their newer CEO after the previous one passed away.
Yeah.
Because the previous one was all about satisfying the customer, making the gamers happy. The new one cares much less. He's a businessman. He's just out to make a profit.
Okay. Last point on Talking Tuesday. Crush Rider hit the nail on the head. Look at Nintendo. The last, and this is a key point that he made. The last CEO before he passed away cared about the customer's experience, the gamer's experience. The new one, not so much. That is the key in all of this. This is why, or that's why, Nintendo, while they weren't the big dog on the block by no means, I don't think Nintendo's been the big dog on the block since the 80s, early 90s. Or actually, they were the big dog up into the PlayStation 1. And then after the PlayStation 1, they kind of fell behind. But that's why, because the CEO cared. He cared what the gamers wanted. He cared about how his games were being perceived by the people who bought them. The new CEO doesn't give a shit. The new CEO just wants money. He wants to feed that bank account. That's the problem with the gaming industry. Everything on Gamer Developer right now, if you were to boil all the bullshit down, that's what it goes to. That's exactly what it goes to. I encourage all of you to go to Game Developer, even if you don't understand it, even if you're a rookie when it comes to gaming, which means that you are probably under the age of 10 watching me. I hope your mom and dad said you could. You would understand most of this. And it's good to know, because then it gives you more of a perspective on what or why games are being delayed. why we have the same game for 13 years, why this is happening, why that's happening. I didn't even get to another article that I wanted to get to, but that's okay. We'll come back to Gamer Developer next week. We are way over time, and that, you know what? That's okay. A caveat is once you put in gamer industry news into Google, it'll say game developer and gameindustry.biz. I'm actually clicking on that for the first time right now because I want to see what it says. Ooh, I like this one too. This one's good. The latest, very first bullet, the latest. Epic Games confirms legal action against Fortnite cheat seller and DDoS cyber attacker. That's great. That's great. Second one, Xbox graphics lead blasted for using AI generated image in job advert. Wow. Okay. I could go on for another half hour, 45 minutes, hour on this. Um, I'm not going to go, but I encourage everybody out there. If you are if you're an avid gamer, if you are one of these gamers that goes out there and reads the canon story of these games because you want to know more about it. If you want to know why you are not immersing yourself in that next chapter of that game, why it's taking 10 years, why when Fallout came out when you were freaking 9 years old and we're at 76 and you're 25, go to game developer, go to gameindustry.biz, go do your own research. Knowledge is power. Once you get the knowledge, you got the power. And like Crush Rider said, if we don't like it as consumers of these companies, we need to speak with our wallet. That will never happen in America. It won't happen in the world because people want the games that they want. Talking Tuesday turned into kind of a soapbox for us. It wasn't all gloom and doom. It was actually a very good episode. Crush Rider, I want to thank you so much for joining us via the Discord Nomad Gamers channel. He is in the same channel I am. That's where you can catch your favorite Nomad Gamer and chat with us. You can join the chat, join the community. However, I'm way over time. I'm going to get my ass kicked for how long I've been going, but that's okay. Let's just wrap this up. I'll be gaming tomorrow. We have Thirsty Thursday on Thursday. Remember, I'm out of town all weekend. There's a high, in fact, let's just call it right now. I'm on vacation next week. There will be Talking Tuesday, but no Thirsty Thursday. I will not be streaming at all next week. I got some personal stuff I have to take care of. Again, I'll be out of town, in and out of town all week. So let's not confuse it. Let's just start fresh again next Sunday. So that being said, game true, game hard, and always, and I mean always, game on. Be you. You're beautiful the way you are. Keep gaming. Keep doing whatever you got to do. Be the best at that job or whatever you're doing. Be the best at it. Tune out all the negativity. Tune it out. Santiago would be so proud if he heard this part. Tune out the negativity. By the way, go over to Santiago Cirillo and follow that man. Go see what the Haya Nation's doing. That man is amazing. Where am I at? Okay, I know where I'm at. If you're playing a game and you run across a griefer and that griefer needs blown the fuck up, you blow that motherfucker. Thank you for the love. Thank you just for the support. Thank you for watching Talking Tuesday. Thank you so much if you are tuning in on recorded after I'm off air, I really do appreciate you. Like always, at the end of every show,